Mukhang ano, no? May chanting hangover pa sila yan, no?
Lahat ng madaan.
Lahat ng pwedeng i-chat, eh, no? I-chat, Ronnie! Ronnie! See? See? Anything. They'll cheer anything.
I-feed mo lang, ha?
Oo, sabihin lang natin because they're happy fans. We're all happy fans because of what happened over the weekend. In the meantime, welcome back to the Mall of Asia Arena inside the Sports5 Center. Miko Aliri with Coach Ronnie Magsanok. And ito yung gwapo ng Korea. Si Eric Sandrin.
Nope.
Hindi ba ikaw yun?
My billboard's coming out soon, sir.
Of course, we have our honor to have the author of Pacific Rims and editor of Grantland in the United States, Mr. Rafe Bartholomew.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Otherwise known as Paeng. Yeah.
Paeng Bartholomew.
Paeng Bartholomew. Okay, Rafe, you were here to cover the FIBA Asia tournament. I'm sure that was quite an experience for you as well.
I think for me and obviously for the nation, the experience of a lifetime. It was unforgettable. The game against Korea is one of the best games I've ever seen. It's going to go down in history, I think, as this generation's 1985 Jones Cup game, where the Philippines beat the U.S. and everyone remembers Chip Englund and Alan Kaidik, Hector Calma, and you know this generation is going to remember Jimmy Alapag and Jason Castro and all those guys just like that.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Amnesia.
No, I'm Kiefer Avena's age, so I have no idea what you're talking about. NCC, what's that? Did you play before? Did you play before?
Patituloy ako eh.
Okay, and Rafe also wrote a beautiful piece. So many beautiful articles came out during that entire week. Your article was one of them and widely read. Syempre, it was on Grantland. So, marami rin nakabasa na taga-United States. I'm more curious about how the American readers responded to your article about a Philippine team victory.
I think they're interested. I think if that's a challenge sometimes for me, writing for an American audience about Philippine basketball. But I think I put in some references to things they would know, NBA references, just pop culture things to give them some context and also sort of string them along. And also the videos, there was so much rich content to link to and show that they could really see and feel how powerful that game was. Kahit saan, kahit sino sila eh.
Di ba gusto natin malaman, Coach Ronnie? Kasi kaming dalawa, because when you're of a certain age, you're more affected. Coach Ronnie used to play for the national team, so malalim yung epekto sa kanya. Ako, I've been a fan of the national team since I was born.
30, ah?
30 na ba? No. So, you wrote your book about Philippine basketball. You speak, almost fluent Filipino, and you have so many friends in the PBA and the national team. Ano yung epekto sa'yo when the Philippines won over South Korea?
Grabe, mahirap ipaliwanag.
Kasi kami, naiyak kami eh. Ako, I'm not ashamed to say it na tayong dalawa, luwaan tayo. But how about you? How moved were you?
I was sitting watching next to Tim Cone, and
I looked.
No, he was in the stands.
Okay.
And he was just speechless. I looked over next to him, and he's like nakatanga. You couldn't. It was so amazing and hard to process. It was. You felt proud. I remember going out into the hallways here in Mall Arena, just hugging everyone, high-fiving. Just the euphoria of that achievement is something I felt having grown to love Philippine basketball. I hope almost like a Filipino.
Ako, I'm willing to do an experiment here as we're seeing unforgettable images from that unforgettable game and night. If bibigyan mo ko ng knife, kutsilyo, at hihiwain ko tong si Rafe, adobo lalabas dyan.
Baka tinuguan.
If you were to put in a title for the winning run of Team Pilipinas in the FIBA Asia, what would you have as a tagline?
A tagline.
Tagalog or English will do. Pacific Rim, di ba?
Pacific Rim, that belongs already to now. Pacific Rim is the robots, the kaijus,
kaiju.
Something to think about, though.
Well, but if you were to use just one, maybe adjective to describe the entire week,
moving.
Moving.
moving, powerful.
In Tagalog, puso.
Puso, siyempre.
Layo.
Tagline ni Coach Chot.
Pwede.
Oh, Tubong San Juan, puso.
Will you write a book? Will you write a book about the FIBA Asia Championships?
It's book material. What I may hope to next year to follow the team in Spain, as they obviously it's going to be a difficult ride in Spain. But after seeing the way they played this time, I'm excited to see them play against the best teams in the world, not just in Asia, and see what happens.
Wow. Well, and it's always interesting when we have somebody like Rafe here, gives us a fresh perspective into our passion, which is basketball.
Our passion is his passion because I've played a lot of pickup games against Rafe over the last few years.
Can you tell the viewers gaano kagaling maglaro si Rafe?
Masipag si Rafe.
Sinong katipo niya maglaro?
Kasabay kasi namin nun sila Ed Cordero, naglalaro kami nila Atoy ko.
Yeah.
He always comes in, even without warm-ups, runs hard. Kaya lang there was one time he hurt his ankle real bad. Kasi he always chases after loose balls.
Tinisod mo.
Hindi ako. But we always had a fun time playing against each other.
Yeah.
Inihatid ako ni Rani sa sa hospital sa Makati Med.
Dinala ka sa Makati Med. Kasi nag-guilty siya. Siya yung
He's a good player.
He's a good player. So yun nga, sino katipo nila?
More of a utility player siya.
Sa level nila.
Rudy
Sa laro ngayon, hindi. Kakapapanood ko lang. Si Hayes.
Marvin Hayes. Marvin
Exactly.
Hayes. Okay.
I like actually Marvin Hayes.
Ganon, pati defender,
I used
makulit.
to play one-on-one with him in Katipunan.
Okay.
Because he's from around that area.
Doon. Lapit sa
Wala sa Ateneo.
Ganon maglaro si Rafe talaga.
So sipag.
Energetic.
Siguro mas malakas tumalon si Marvin.
Intangibles.
Makulit dumepensa.
Ganyan.
Kaya ang tanong nila sa akin, sino yan? Sabi ko, basta laro lang tayo.
Si Kurt Long, di ba?
Bata pa si Kurt Long.
Vince Park, di ba?
Nasa Fate Academy pa si Kurt Long.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's go to yung tweets ng ating mga viewers who've been following this game between Global Port and Air 21. Okay, let's start with the tweet from DJ Dark Adam 55. It's great to see the PBA back. Better seeing those two basketball guru, Miko and Coach Ronnie. Sabi niya, we're just like best wine. Mga lasenggo daw tayo, lasenggo. Age to perfection.
Parang tumanda.
Hindi naman bata pa kami. From at Keep Calm Mofo. Zach Graham looks like Irish player LeBron. I guess LeBron nung high school siya. I guess that's what he means.
Yes.
Okay. From Flagrant Foul 2. Very fast-paced game. Favors Global Port in my opinion. Mas maraming firepower. Your thoughts on this Global Port team? They're running and they're gunning.
I thought that they were the more fluid team in the first half. And besides the impressive performance itong si Cunnings, local support was more evident. And I think Cummings was the more accurate player laban dito kay Grendel. Once in the second quarter, it was about 70%, 7 of them from the field. Tapos maganda yung depensa nila. Kasi nga si Rafe Hayes, kinukulit si Zach Graham. Graham only good for 30% in the first half.
And then I think we have one more tweet. Do we read one more tweet? Okay, let's. What is that final tweet that we will read? There you go. From Jerome. Nakita ba si Kobe at si Kobe Saya?
Naiwan ng ano?
Did you see Kobe Bryant when he was here?
Oh, yeah, I did not see him yesterday.
It's okay. Kobe Saya.
Hi guys.
So, Kobe Saya, nakita ba kayo ni Kobe Bryant nung Monday?
Well, sad to say, pumadlang sila buyo.
Kasi bagyo.
Na-cancel ang flight mo. Papunta ka Tagbilaran.
Na-cancel yung flight mo.
Papunta na.
Rafe, can you bring him with you to the United States?
Oh, yeah, Staples Center. We'll fly on Kobe's helicopter before the game.
Oh, di ba? Can you bring him?
Yeah.
Meron sa EDSA nun.
So we can
light.
get rid of him permanently. Iuwi mo na. Dali mo na sa Amerika. Okay. Rafe, Coach Ronnie, Kobe Sayan, myself, and the thousands here. We'll be right back at the end of the game. Second half in a moment.
Hindi na pipili sa talk and text. Only text all plus. Only Tropa Call.
Welcome back here inside Sports5 Center. Why are people going nuts over that guy? Ano ba meron
Why
yan?
not?
Sino ba? What?
Yeah. May dimple pag umiti. No.
May hawak siyang magandang libro.
Pakita kasi libro na hawa. Ano yung libro na yan?
Ano yun? Ayan!
Ano ba yung libro na yan? Mukhang mahusay.
Pinipisil-pisil.
Mukhang mahusay na.
Pinipisil-pisil pa yung pisngi niya. Parang sanggol.
Papaterma na si Komisaya ngayon Kung may budget na talaga.
Salamat po, Doc. Salamat po, Doc.
Once again, we're at the half of this game between Sanmi Coffee and Rain or Shine. And so far, it's a 5-point game. Seems like Rain or Shine is like the sharper team tonight.
I like the way they came out with a lot of defensive energy. Guardado si James at maski naka-6 na punto si PJ Simon, walang pumutok ng gusto. In fact, si Marcus Blakely, mas maraming punto siya doon sa first quarter. And I thought that the last two painters did a good job controlling the rebounding battle. Saka mabigat ang bench scoring na ibinuhos din ng Rain or Shine.
Okay, and of course, we're joined here by, baka nagtataka sila, but may blood tayo nakasama dito. Rafe Bartholomew, renowned author of Pacific Rims, editor of Grantland, a.k.a. Tito Paeng. Oh, Paeng, your thoughts from the first half?
Well, actually, this is my first time to see Tim Cohn live coaching, not for Alaska, his whole team,
that's right, yeah.
which was what I covered in my book. So it's a bit shocking for me from the beginning. But I think they miss Mark Fingers here because he's the kind of guy who will sort of step up and get physical and dirty and fight against a team that you know is physical and tough like Rain or Shine, and is really coming to sort of take this, you know, a finesse team like Tim likes to coach, take their lunch, you know, and you miss a guy like Fingers who's sort of like gonna do all the dirty work.
Oh, you can make an argument that Rain or Shine is a team made up of players who love doing the dirty work, Coach Ronnie.
And they're also missing two players. Gabe Norwood and Jeff Chan are not seeing action for Coach
kulang pa pala.
Yang Yao. But I think that game plan of Coach Yang Yao is to really make it difficult for the superior scorers of Sanmi Coffee. Kilala niya kung sinong papatay sa depensa niya. At alam niya na pag nasaktan, may hirapan ng Sanmig na iakyat yung production nila sa opensa.
Okay, let's go to the tweets that we called all through the first half. So we'll start with this tweet from John Mauricio. Yeah, okay. Kinilabutan ako nung nabasa ko yung "See you in Spain." Do you see that? The shirt?
All the shirts
Of the Gilas players, "See you in Spain."
Pero isang salita lang ako dyan, Mix.
Ano?
Penge.
Hola. Hola. Dora, I'll see you, Dora. Taga Spain. Ay, hindi pa pala. Hindi pala Spain si Dora.
Ako si Butch.
I'll see you in España.
España, yeah, España. From Idol Jet. All right, Idol Jet. Welcome back, Marcus Blakely. I wish you can finish your task for SMC. Of course, Blakely, you know, he's like the American version of Sakuragi. You know, provides a lot of energy, but you know, this Sanmi Coffee team looks like they're in need of offense.
And I think, and I believe that Arizona Reed is a perfect matchup laban dito kay Blakely. Tama yung sinabi mo, kulang sa offense. And let's see if in the second half, Coach Tim will continue to work on their execution. At tingnan natin kung madala nila yung bola sa loob. Dahil wala silang atake sa loob. They're missing the shots from the outside. Only 2 3-point baskets compared to the 5 3-point conversions para sa Rain or Shine. And I thought that was a big factor that resulted into Rain or Shine having the lead entering the second half.
From at Gold Ghost 198, and in the last minute of the first quarter, Chris Chu happened. Chris Chu. How would you compare Chris Chu? I mean, is there like a counterpart of Chris Chu in the US? Like a complete package, product endorser, your boy next door, TV host.
I don't think there's no one who has quite a grip on everything the way that Chris Chu does, from, you know, all of the businesses to hosting to probably politics someday. It's hard to think about someone who does all those things as an athlete in the States.
When do you say politics someday? What, do you know something we don't about Chris Chu? Is he going to run for senator or something? Or?
I just remember that he was involved in politics as a kid.
Oh yeah, he's a SK. SK. Are you campaign manager ka ba niya o ano?
Pero may alok ako, siguro.
Ano? Gusto? Anong gusto?
Pwede daw. Pwede. Okay,
SK.
from what's this? Banana Giro. Parang puro babae ang nanonood ngayon sa MOA. Marami
Di
na
naman.
dito.
Di naman.
Dahil kay James Yap at Chris Chu.
Wow. Tsaka sa Gilas.
Tsaka sa Gilas. And finally from at Saints Pidre, I hope I say your name correctly. Blakely needs free throw tutorials from Coach Chart Del Rosario.
Nandiyan si Chart.
Oh, nga. Sa bench. Baka di pa nabibigyan ng GC.
Baka inuna ni Jerwin yung jacket.
Bawal libre. Bawal libre sa free throw. You know, me and Coach Richard, we're looking for locations in the America, in the United States, for our free throw academy. Can you show in New York?
Madison Square Garden, ano?
Maybe right beside Madison
Barclays
Square
Center.
Garden, or maybe beside Barclays Center. Mas
Bago yun.
What about Central Park?
Barclays.
Central Park.
Central Barclays Center.
Central Park.
Pag-winter.
Pero no. Yung ganun na
Pag-winter.
Can you
Pag may
help us
yellow,
get a
okay.
discount from the mayor?
Libre yun.
Libre ba doon?
Sa Central Park?
may yung...
Di ba kami huli ng NYPD?
Kay Bloomberg na ba gusto?
Di ba kami huliin doon?
Pwede yan.
If we build
Pwede
a
yan.
free throw shooting
you're
academy
building in
there.
Central Park. Baka
Baka
problema kayo.
Something na
Pwede
lang
yan,
sa
pwede
tabi
yan.
na lang ng Barclays. Okay, let's do some Insta fans here. When we do Insta fans, we show photos of the fans
Ay, ganda.
in action. And I think we got this from the recent FIBA
Nice.
Asia tournament. Ayan, okay, this fan with a photo opportunity with, of course, L.A. Tenorio.
Oh, nice.
Ito naman, this fan naman with Larry Fonasher. Okay. She got the FIBA, got a Gilas jacket. Gilas jacket.
Yeah.
Probably the youngest Gilas
Saka
fan out
naka-wave,
there. Naka-wave. Jason Castro, Rafe, best point guard in Asia. Surprised or not?
I'm not surprised. I mean, we've seen his talent, and it was great to see it come out and sort of emerge against the elite competition there in the end of the FIBA tournament.
And our Twin Towers versus Adadi.
Parang naliliitan sila kaya.
And of course, Sakuragi with Marcos.
Kuya Marcos.
Kuya Marcos. Daddy Douthit. Ayan. So many people posting.
Ayan,
Uy, kilala ko yan.
Miko!
Bakit?
Pia! Yeah.
Actually,
Sample!
let's get you! Hindi ka pwede camera. Actually, I was so happy na yung, naiyak na ako. Yung anak ko, our 7-year-old daughter, got to watch the game, the Korea game. And
One game lang siya,
they watched one game. And nagkataon, it was that game. And my daughter, she got a very good understanding of love for country through sports. And I thought that was special.
In fact, that's one of the ways that basketball became such a popular sport here in the country, because in all the years of domination, throughout Asia, from the 1930s to the 1970s, Filipinos remembered winning year after year in the Asian basketball championships, going to the Asian games, going to the Olympics for a long time, and that sort of grew the love, because people have pride in being really good at something.
Sama ko dyan. Totoo yung sinabi niya. I was 7 years old noong 1973. Nung nag-champion yung Pilipinas dito sa Rizal Memorial. At the year after, ina-absentan ko yon para makanood ako sa Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Because it was shown in the early mornings of, I think, 1974. Para mapanood ko lang si Yoyong Martires, kulitin yung mga kalaban sa abroad.
Noong 1973, dirty thoughts pa lang ako doon. Wala pa. Guni-guni pa lang
Ako
ako.
nga.
Guni-guni.
Bubble thoughts ka pa lang.
Guni-guni pa lang ako. Guni-guni pa lang ako doon. Okay, we'll be back dito sa Sports5 Center at the end of this game. In the meantime, we'll bring it the second half. Raider shot against Sunday Coffee.
Miko!
Welcome back inside the Sports5 Center. We're still in the Mall of Asia Arena, and just moments ago, Rain or Shine winning over Sunday Coffee 79. Kanya-kanya sigaw eh. Yung mga Gilas, Pilipinas pa rin dyan ah.
Gilas San Mick.
Okay, Miko Alili here with Coach Ronnie Magsanok and the author of Pacific Rims, Rafe Bartholomew, otherwise known as Tito Paeng. Tito, Paeng na buwibisita dito sa Pilipinas and looking watching the game, the very first game day of the PBA, and I don't know what they always say the FIBA basketball is more physical. I thought that game was really physical. That San Mikobi rain or shine game.
It was. I mean, the score was low, and of course, you know, rain or shine has the personnel to mix it up a little bit, and they all love to. You know, I mean, the extra Rice boys, but the guards too are physical. Paul Lee is so big and strong.
Chris Chu is physical.
Chris Chu is a tough player. You know, he might be a pretty boy, but he's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
That was a physical game, and we were seated beside each other, and yung banggaan sa loob. Wow, not for the faint of heart.
Kayuran sa loob, higaan ng lakas. In the third quarter, I thought that Blakely did a good job dominating the inside para sa kunan ng San Mig. Pero in the fourth, it was the turn of Arizona Reed to make sure that he would impose his strength inside. At yun ang naging difference. At sa ganito, katikit na laban, babalikan mo yung mga missed free throws talaga ni Marcus Blakely. Bagay na pwedeng lumaki ng gusto yung kalamangan nila dahil kinayod niya eh. They only had 120 plus quarter, which happened in the third where they scored 26 points.
I think, Rafe, we saw two very talented imports tonight. Maybe different styles, but without a doubt, two very talented imports in Arizona Reed and Marcus Blakely.
For sure, you know, Blakely is more of a workhorse import. You know, he's not really a glamour scorer, and he's a kind of import who Coach Tim really likes with his, you know, a guy who can fit in. He's already familiar with
Like Roselle Ellis.
Oh, Roselle Ellis, from 2007 and 2008 sa Alaska. He likes these guys who come to work every day. They can, you know, dominate a game not just through scoring but through their hard work. And kasi talagang nakakahawa yun.
Parang Sean Chambers din.
Oh, Sean Chambers din. Those guys who the locals will see him playing and be like, I have to lift my game up because this is the import. He's the highest paid player and he's playing as hard as anyone out here.
I think we should also mention that both teams missing key players. For San Mikofi, of course, Mark Pingris not suited up, and then Raider Shine naman, Gabe Norwood and Jeff Chan, although they were in uniform, hindi mo na sila pinaglaro, which I think, you know, ano naman, tama. Perfectly understandable
Yes.
for both teams. Okay, the NCAA resumes dito sa Sports5, happening tomorrow at the San Juan Arena. You see our doubleheader there, and you'll catch the games on Action TV. You'll see the respective channels as per the cable service that you have. So huwag niyo kakalimutan dyan. And then on Friday, we'll go back to the Big Dome and we'll see the first outings for Talking Tex and Barako. They'll meet in the first game, and then the Meralco Bolts against Petron in the second game. Our coverage starts at 5 in the afternoon here on IBC. Then we tuloy-tuloy tayo. Basketball never stops. On Saturday, Global Port will try to win their get their second straight win. They'll face Rain or Shine, so those are undefeated teams so far. And then San Mikofi in Air 21 will try and bounce back from their losses tonight. And then on Sunday, we'll go back to the Big Dome. Barako against Meralco, Petron against Barangay Ginebra, and our coverage starts 4 p.m. with a Sports5 Center here on IBC 13. Basketball never stops in the Philippines, right, Rafe?
That's why I like to come back so much.
Dalasan mo pagbisita mo dito eh. Paminsan-minsan ka lang bumabalik.
Pero 2 taon na hindi ako nakabalik sa Pilipinas.
2 taon na?
Dalawang taon
The last time. Eh, huli nakita tayo sa Vegas pa.
Vegas,
Ano ba
syempre,
gusto mo
pare.
talaga, Rafe o Paeng?
Depende sa lugar.
Okay,
Dito sa lugar. O dito.
Siguro Paeng.
Okay, sige. We have some time remaining here. Go, promote your book.
Okay, once again, Pacific Rims is my book about Philippine basketball. It covers basketball mula sa barangay hanggang sa PBA. And it's the history of the game, the inside the PBA a little bit, stories of the great players, and it's really about, you know, the love of the game here, which is greater than siguro anywhere else in the world.
Yan! There you go.
Salamat, Paeng.
Sabi na
Salamat
may
din.
adobo na sa dugo to eh. By the way, sabi ni at Joanna 1983, he's hot. Si Rafe.
Oh, naman.
Hot daw, hot. Hot si Rafe. Ikaw, Coach Ronnie, what's your book? Oh, meron si Coach.
Meron.
What's your book?
Puso!
Puso! Puso, okay. Sa lahat ng bubuo ng Sports 5, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the very first game day of the PBA Governors Cup. We want to wish you all a good